Hi there, join us. Let us go to A2D. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Welcome to this special edition of the program Road to A2D 2025. Abe Michael, Honorable for Akko and Messager Special Constituency, is dead. The confirmation was made yesterday. A family member told us that he was kidnapped on Wednesday. That's just 3 days after the presidential elections that took place on October 12, 2025, and he was taken to an unknown destination. He was later killed, but not after the kidnappers had taken a sum of 6 million francs CFA. They had requested for 15 million, but the family could not. And when the 6 million was paid, he was later killed. His vehicle was seized by the kidnappers. You all saw them in the picture that circulated online where they wore his clothes and were parading around. Also, his driver was kidnapped and his family had to pay 600,000 francs CFA. This is what has been happening. You're welcome to Road to A2D at this special moment. We don't know if you are watching us using the Starlink or you're watching us using MTN or Orange, because the internet in Cameroon right now is as slow as the pace of a snail. Joining me on board will be Sandrine Yamga and, of course, Mefo. Sandrine Yamga, welcome.
Hello everyone, hello fans and Enjeh. I hope you are doing well. Bonsoir à tous. Merci à vous d'être encore là ce soir pour cet autre rendez-vous sur la route de A2D, sur Mefo Info et puis sur toutes les plateformes. Merci à vous si vous êtes dans la diaspora, si vous êtes au Cameroun. Alors, petit point aujourd'hui sur l'actualité. Alors, on a observé du côté de Ngaoundéré dans la province de la Damawa ou dans la région de la Damawa, cette manifestation plus ou moins soutenue des militants et autres citoyens qui appelaient ou bien qui reconnaissaient, selon eux, la victoire de Issa Chiroma Bakary avec, bien sûr, des forces de police et de gendarmerie tout autour. On a bien vu que la mobilisation était assez impressionnante et forte. Pas de violence à première vue, surtout des j'allais dire plutôt des soldats militaires et autres gendarmes être plutôt encadrés par la population qui criait à corps et à cri Issa Chiroma Bakary. Et à noter également que du côté de Garoua, autour du domicile d'Issa Chiroma Bakary, ses militants et puis ses partisans continuent de camper alors que les autorités religieuses appellent à la prière. Alors que du côté de Tchad, on observe plutôt une ville plutôt calme, on dirait un silence de cimetière. Merci à vous d'être là. Bonsoir Mimi.
Bonsoir Sandrine. Good evening to everyone. Welcome to today's Road to A2D, a special edition, of course, because we still have our very brilliant veteran journalists presenting this program. Today, Cameroonians were supposed to know who is going to be their next president for the next 7 years. Today, millions who voted for change on the 12th of October 2025 were expecting to have their third president. That was the hope of many, take over the seat at A2D. But the journey seems to have been very long. Last week, I said that the road to A2D has been bumpy. It's also been slippery. Yes, it's been so far. Did we know that after the election, we're going to be talking about stolen victory. We're going to be talking about fraud, protests, and even ways for Cameroonians to come out as one man and protect the votes, and eventually internet limitations, because in some parts of Cameroon, people are having internet connections. It's coming and going, so we can call it internet shutdown or internet limitation. Yes, the internet is gradually being reduced across the national territory. And is it to control information flow and curb freedom of expression? One thing is sure, this is something that actually undermines national security, which is one word that the government is good. They are good with using. They are best known for using national security and so on and so forth. But for the first time, of course, it's not the first time. I mean, since the start of this election, we are seeing something that is happening that undermines national security and freedom of expression. The road to A2D may be slippery, but Issa Chiroma Bakary, who has declared himself winner of the 12th of October presidential election in Cameroon, says that he is not going to give up. And he is also urging his supporters to follow that path that he is talking about. Today we will look at internet shutdown, what it means. Is it a political tool to shut down and intimidate the masses? Is it a tool to stop people from going to the streets to claim that victory that they want? Is it also a tool to just tell the people not to stay indoors or to tell them to stay indoors? What does delaying the proclamation of results mean as well? Does it guarantee fairness? And what has been described by many as the people's will, we'll be finding from our guest tonight. And Sandrine Yamga should be introducing first of our guests, who is already there here with us. Sandrine.
Yeah. OK, on va accueillir pour commencer par Fabivoum. Je vais signaler qu'à cause des interruptions d'Internet, ça pourrait être pas très évident, mais on va essayer avec la connexion qu'il a de pouvoir discuter de la dernière actualité. On sait qu'il a très bien travaillé autour de Issa Chikoma Bakari. Il était ancien militant, je pense, du Social Democratic Front, qui a beaucoup été œuvré dans la province du Centre, bien, c'est donc un ancien cadre du SIF qui aujourd'hui travaille autour de la communication bien dans l'entourage de M. Issa Chikoma Bakari que nous allons recevoir. J'espère qu'il est en ligne. Salut, bonsoir, Aloïs. Welcome.
I think that his internet has also
internet, right? Yeah,
yes.
I just saw that you just said that the internet, the connection is so bad at this time. So we hope to have our guest today. It will be I would say maybe a difficult evening for us. Yeah,
Yes.
because of the internet. So maybe before we try to have our guest, so maybe we can just talk around what
we
is
have another guest.
happening. Yeah.
We have another guest because we're supposed to also have our correspondents to come in. We have correspondents in Marwa. They were supposed to join us. Those in Douala, Boya, and Yaoundé were also supposed to join us, but the internet did not allow us to do that. But we also have another person, Oben Frankie. He's joining us. Maybe you introduce yourself, but we are so happy to have you this evening with us. Welcome, Frankie.
Oh, thank you very much, and good evening, Hansen. Good evening, Sanjay. Bonsoir. I
Bonsoir.
am very happy to be here with you. Good evening, Mimi. And just to know that it's 3:16 a.m. here in Japan because I'm on GMT +8, so I took everything possible to be able to be here right
Thank
now.
you so much.
And I hope that I'm gonna be able to share my humble perspective and maybe edify the viewers.
You will be okay.
So I'm reading a little bit about you. You are the Youth Alliance for Emergence Cameroon and a teacher in Japan. You are also you've been following a lot of political happenings in the country, and you say that after teaching, you've been a teacher in Cameroon for 10 years, and you witnessed the elections in Cameroon in 2004, and you also witnessed happenings in the country in 2008 and 2011. When you look at what happened on the 12th of October this year, what do you think? How do you feel?
Oh, I think like every other Cameroonian, like every other youth out there, it's it's really disheartening what has happened throughout this trend of times, and it's very unfortunate that everything we're seeing right now is so predictable. Because after I witnessed the 2004 elections as a very young man, probably I was still in primary school, and I was able to participate sometime in 2008. And after then, I just 2008 through 2011 when I think there were presidential ID cards for people to vote and stuff. I just really got fed up with uh, elections because I started thinking that these were things that we cannot control because each time you participate and you want to make your voice heard, but at the end of the day, it's not reflected in the results that the regime appointed proclamees, games that they do after these elections doesn't really reflect the interest of the people. So I began starting to focus on the real things that I could control, my career, my skills, and jumping to somewhere around 2018, shortly after the Anglophone crisis began in 2016, and we had a lot of youths dying, a lot of life lost. I lost colleagues. I was at the University of Boya at the time and teaching part-time at Bishop Rogan College. And it really touched me so much because I had a very intelligent friend who just got lost his life, just like for nothing's sake in the name of the Anglophone crisis. And we are moving in a situation where we are very, not like we are very happy about Mr. Issa Cheruma, but the fact that he was able to come up playing to the population and apologize for most of the things that he did to this youth and trying to right his wrongs. Yeah, we found ourselves in a situation where you're drowning and then you see a python, you just have to dive on the python for safety. So he's been doing great in the last couple of months, and it's still unfortunate that we are still working on that prediction or trajectory where we know that we are going to vote for this person that we want for change. And then the CPDM will use all of this political ping pong, delaying the results, decreasing bandwidth so people cannot have the voice heard over the internet. We cannot clamor for, contribution from the international community. And all of these are just the games that we know CPDM knows how to play in order to arrive at the end to make us believe that probably for one or two reasons that will not be very clear to explain, Pobias won the elections. So
Yeah, but
it's
when you
very,
see, but
very
when you see the way young people are agitating, trying to really express their willingness to see the outcome of the election just exactly how they want it. I mean, based on who they voted for. Are you positive that we are heading towards the right direction finally?
Definitely, I'm positive. I'm positive from the energy that the youths are showing. Even the old people, the people of I think the previous generation before the very energetic generation we have, they're showing the support. I am positive, even though at one point I just pray God that things doesn't de-escalate to a level where it has to turn to those kind of scenes that we saw in the Anglophone crisis. And if I just heard you talk about Boundary. I did work in Boundary for like 2 years, and you talked about peaceful protests where military was, just following up the population and making sure that properties are not destroyed and everything. If they can keep up in that passive manner where they will support the population, because that's what we need from them right now. I followed one session with Sandrine and I think was it another lady in the afternoon talking about a professor from the US talking about the military making up of just 0.1% or something. I didn't really keep that statistics down. But I want to also say they make 0.1% and they are having a lot of guns. They have armored cars. They can cause a lot of destruction, Just one gun from one military can be a lot of destruction to a lot of families. I, for one, I'm the only boy in my family, and I'm probably the most successful child in my family. And I don't know what my family could do if they lose somebody like me. I don't know how many generations probably it will take to get somebody like me. And those are the kind of things that we're worried about. So I appreciate what the youths are doing. And the most important one critical aspect also is that we have a Cameroonian youth that most of them don't really take personal issues serious. Probably, I would say, because of the way the country has marketed us. Even when we are out here in Japan, sometimes we get people asking us very hard questions about our country that we cannot even answer. It's like, is it shameful? It's a kind of shameful marketing. You come from somewhere where people are like, man, is that really a country or what's happening? So it's
Thank you.
really disheartening. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Now, Parfait is joining us straight on live to Yaoundé. Parfait, bonsoir, welcome. Now, you are working with Issa Chiruma Bakari. Can you confirm to us this night that Issa Chiruma Bakari won the elections?
Oui, merci. Bonsoir à tous. Bonsoir et bravo pour tout le travail que vous faites. Je suis heureux d'être là. Bonsoir à Mimi. Je me rappelle encore quand tu étais à la prison de Konengi. J'étais rendu visite là-bas. New Bell, excusez. Oui, j'étais rendu visite là-bas. Je suis heureux de te retrouver.
Merci, que Dieu vous bénisse. Bonjour.
Bonsoir à l'autre invité, je suis heureux d'être là. Écoutez, j'ai été au four et au moulin dans cette élection. J'ai été à tous les niveaux, au niveau des bureaux de vote, au niveau des commissions départementales, au niveau même de la commission nationale. C'est nous qui avons claqué la porte le samedi. Après 2 jours de travaux, j'assistais M. Issa qui était le représentant, moi j'étais son conseiller. Donc, il est clair que Issa Chiroma, il n'a pas fait que gagner cette élection, il a survolé l'élection. Survolé l'élection. C'est-à-dire qu'il est allé au-delà de nos attentes. Le peuple a fait ce qu'on n'attendait pas. C'était trop fort pour nous. Lorsque je parcourais les bureaux de vote le dimanche, c'était l'extase. Et j'ai fait le tour des bureaux de vote de Yaoundé. Et même tous les renseignements que nous avons eus ailleurs, c'est que nous avons gagné cette élection. Et personne ne va nous arracher cette victoire. Je peux vous le dire ce soir. Nous serons au palais des Toudi de 2 manières. Soit M. Biya accepte tranquillement que nous fassions la passation de service comme c'est normal, ou alors le peuple ira boire lui-même le champagne au palais des Toudi dans les prochains jours.
Est-ce que vous pensez que M. Biya va facilement vous concéder ou bien vous laisser la place à Etoudi?
Ben, s'il aime, comme il dit qu'il aime le peuple, s'il aime le peuple, s'il aime la population, il n'a pas d'autre choix. Maintenant, s'il veut que la population même aille boire le champagne au palais en faisant cette pression, le peuple est en train de le faire et nous y arriverons. Nous, il n'y a pas une autre équation possible. Et nous sommes en train de travailler pour que la prise de pouvoir soit faite dans la paix. Mais s'il nous oblige à utiliser d'autres moyens, nous n'hésiterons pas. Parce que ça fait 43 ans qu'il est là.
Si président Pobi avait l'intention de concede, s'il avait l'intention de faire la concession, il devait faire ça depuis, puisque Issa Chiroma Bakari l'avait donné l'indication, je pense, 1 ou 2 jours après les élections. Mais on n'a rien suivi, on n'a rien entendu, on n'a pas vu de réaction au niveau des palais d'études. Et à votre avis, quels sont les facteurs internes qui, what are the internal factors that are preventing President Paul Biya from conceding?
Non, oui, tu sais, vous savez, il y a des étapes. Au départ, on fait un peu d'orgueil, on envoie un peu la police et la gendarmerie, on se rend compte que en réalité, ce n'est plus à ce niveau. Vous avez des villes qui tombent au fur et à mesure. Et chaque soir, je fais le point des villes qui sont tombées, c'est-à-dire où les populations sont en train de prendre elles-mêmes leurs responsabilités. Maroua est tombé, l'extrême nord est tombé, le nord est tombé, la Damawa est tombée. Demain, d'autres villes vont tomber. Et je peux déjà vous dire que l'Est va tomber. Il n'y a pas de choix. Donc, au fur et à mesure que les populations prennent leurs responsabilités, le pouvoir même sait que c'est presque terminé. Ils ont d'ailleurs renvoyé.
La question était justement qu'est-ce qui l'empêche de concéder? Est-ce qu'il y a les facteurs qui sont en train d'empêcher peut-être les gens qui sont autour de lui? I didn't know how to translate, so the words now came to my mind.
I understand. Yes. J'arrive, je comprends. Oui. Non, c'est que Paul Biya aime d'abord le pouvoir. Il adore le pouvoir. Et il est même prêt même à donner son épouse aujourd'hui à Chiroma pour rester au pouvoir. Vous comprenez?
À 92 ans, il n'est pas fatigué.
Oui, je crois qu'il a dit à certains qu'il devait mourir au pouvoir. Il ne regarde même pas son âge. Il n'a pas pitié de son âge. Il n'a pas pitié. Donc, les autres facteurs, c'est son entourage. Les ministres les directeurs généraux, tout ce monde-là ne comprend pas qu'il va laisser le pouvoir. Et c'est pour cela qu'ils ont encore 2 ou 3 jours pour faire leur petite arrogance. Après cela, il n'y aura pas de pardon. Donc, nous leur demandons, ils ont encore demain, après-demain et dimanche pour décider de partir tranquillement. Parce que le peuple n'est pas en train de blaguer. Et on a volé une élection en 92, on ne va pas revoler celle de 35 ans plus tard. C'est impossible. Donc, nous sommes déterminés. Et aujourd'hui, il y a eu quelques menaces à l'endroit de Chiroma qu'ils allaient faire un assaut, mais ils ne peuvent pas faire un assaut avec ce peuple mobilisé. Donc, les déterminants, les facteurs qui font qu'ils ne veulent pas partir, c'est qu'ils n'ont pas d'abord su que l'élection allait être comme ça. Ils n'ont pas su que le décalage des résultats, c'est-à-dire 75 contre 25% dans la réalité, ils n'ont pas su qu'il y aurait la détermination du peuple parce qu'ils ont souvent fait ça. Le peuple est resté amorphe. Mais aujourd'hui, le peuple ne va pas l'accepter. Je vous le dis. Et nous nous préparons à prendre le pouvoir dans les prochains jours.
Okay, alors, question pour vous. Les résultats vont être finalement proclamés lundi. Pour vous, quelle serait la raison pour laquelle les résultats qui étaient initialement annoncés aujourd'hui ont été reportés à lundi? Vous étiez à la Commission nationale de recensement général des votes. Et si mes souvenirs sont bons ou si ce n'est pas correct, vous pouvez me le dire. Il se pourrait qu'à la fin de la commission, le procès verbal établissait que M. Biya devait être le vainqueur de l'élection présidentielle. Alors, pour vous, est-ce qu'on devrait s'attendre à ce que ce résultat donnant M. Biya vainqueur de l'élection présidentielle soit proclamé ou, si ce n'est pas le cas, quelles seraient, selon vous, les raisons qui ont poussé le Conseil constitutionnel, M. Clément Atangana et les autres, à repousser la proclamation des résultats lundi?
Il y a eu des fuites aujourd'hui, il y a eu une réunion au palais.
Okay, I think that we are losing our guest. I want to bring in Open Frankie now, just to ask. We heard from Mr. Parfum saying that President Paul Biya is already too old, but he's so power drunk that he is not ready to step down. You are in Japan and you have been working there for some time now, after being a teacher in Cameroon. When you're talking about your leader, after listening to a politician in the country describing Paul Biya like that, when you have to talk about your country, your leader, how do you feel as someone far away from home? You are muted.
Yeah, oh, sorry for that. I think it's really sad because there is practically nothing great that I can remember about my leader, because that is the president I've known since I was born, and he's been in power for like ages, and I can't remember a real thing that President Paul Biya has done uh, for us, the youth, since I was in Cameroon. Apart of when I remember I don't know whether I'll call it a notebook or a toy computer or whatever that was shared to university students. Or mine just probably make like 2 weeks and it got broken, and there were no repair outlets, no support and whatever. So it's real a shame, because when I look at where Japan is, and I compare history and look at where probably both of these countries were like 50 years back, Japan is so advanced. In fact, I just feel like I still come from, I don't know if I should say a bush or a forest, but Cameroon has a lot of resources. There is a lot coming to Japan from Cameroon, and the question people ask is like, when I was asked this question by my manager, how much I was earning in Cameroon, I couldn't say the truth, because I would be like, what they are paying me here, if they know the truth about how much I'm earning,
or they might reduce your salary.
they might be like, oh man, you have hit a jackpot. You have hit a jackpot. And I was just like, yeah, it's like this, it's like that. I couldn't really say the truth. And it's really shameful. It's so shameful. But I think in a country like Cameroon, where education, medical fields, or engineering and everything is aimed at benefiting the lives of everybody, it's disheartening that even teachers working in the public service. I work alongside a colleague who abandoned the job, who has a public service matricle, and abandons the
Mhm.
job, and then is feeling better here. For what reason? Because even while working in Cameroon, I realized that politics had infiltrated right into the education system. So your principal just believes that he's the pupil of the school, and whatever he says, you take it or leave it. Your, I don't know, your head of department just believes that okay, he's the prime minister. So when the principal says it and he says it, so I was like, where is the critical thinking? Where is the, the change? How can change be somewhere where you cannot be objective, to say that no, sir, I think you are the principal, but what you said here has crossed the line. Can we like readjust?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Oben. Now, Dr. Luis Ekwe has just joined us live to the US. Doctor, good day. Is afternoon there.
Yeah. Good day, and welcome, Doctor.
Hey, Mimi, how you
Thank you.
doing?
Fine, thank you. Welcome.
You're doing
So
great.
good to see you.
Thank you.
So you are the owner of the founder of the Lewis Foundation. You've been doing humanitarian work, awards left and right, and
Mhm.
there was a release today from their foundation about what is ongoing, and you spoke about peace, unity. You spoke about respect for human rights. Now, I just want to ask, talking about respect for human rights, do you think that the internet shutdown in the country today, or let me say partial shutdown, is a gross violation of our human rights?
Oh, actually, I'm gonna be diplomatic because I'm not a politician.
Mm,
Yeah, yes, I'm not a politician. Like, uh, if we talk about the internet shutdown, I can't say much because even here in the US, at times we have an internet connection. That goes off and on, and things may happen that perhaps due to one or two stuff or the wind or whatever, or the cables are not working and the internet may shut down. So, yeah. So I can't say
Yes,
it's due
but for
to
the
what is
situation of
happening.
Cameroon, we know the context, and it doesn't even ordinary our mothers, aunties who are back home were complaining. They are not also politicians. We know that the context is
yeah.
kind of different. Like when the
Mhm.
Mm,
Anglophone crisis was at its peak, when it just started, internet was also shut down. So it's a targeted kind of action. It has nothing to do with connectivity issues. We know that generally internet in Cameroon is a problem, but now that many people are thinking that it's a strategy by the government to some sort of control information flow. But as a human rights, I know you're a human rights defender, if I except I'm mistaken.
Mhm.
What does this mean? I mean, in the broader context of the respect of people's rights.
mm,
Yeah, I believe everybody has a right. Everybody has a right. People in the street have a right. People in the government have a right. Everybody has a right. And every Cameroonian has a right to question anything that is happening, has the right to ask, why is the internet off? Or why is it off? Like anything that happens, you have a right. You understand what I mean? That is why I
Mhm.
was saying that, like, we cannot go to is it MTN or Camtel? Like, okay,
mm.
why is the internet not working? And they're going to tell you perhaps the cable got disconnected or perhaps the internet is low. And you can argue that. You can't deny it because those things happen. I don't know, you understand what I mean? So I
I
can't say
understand.
because, yeah, I can't say because we are in this situation right now and coincidence happen. Things happen. And I can't say because we are there, we say, oh, the internet has they have like shut down, or Camtel has shut down, or MTN and Orange have shut down. So right now, I don't even know if all of them, like the internet connection, the Camtel, the other one is like shut down because I can't really answer that because
Just,
everybody that I've
just,
called,
just
okay.
an update. Just an update on that. Camtel just released a statement about 5 minutes ago that there has been disruption because of one of their units in Batokelimbe that got disrupted, and that they are working on that. We all know this is politics, because why today, Thursday? But now I want to ask you concerning the release that you sent out by your foundation. You spoke of peace and unity. Now, you've been monitoring what is happening on the ground, and the stance of your foundation is that there should be peace and unity. What about justice?
I'm going to preach about peace, and I'm going to preach about unity, and I'm going to talk about justice. What is justice? Well, first of all, start with peace. We are in the time in our country that everybody is weeping. People need the right thing to be done, whether it's left or right, opposition or no opposition. We need the right thing to be done in our country. Everybody is weeping. I myself am here. I've not slept because I know the people that I'm taking care of back home in Cameroon that are already left. They've already left some part of the Southwest and they are traveling to somewhere. I'm also a victim of that because I am also not sleeping. Now, if we want to talk about justice, justice has to be done. Now, we can't use violence for justice. That is what we can use that. Now, we can't say, oh, because justice, okay, we need justice. How do we need justice? Let's wait on Monday. I think we're supposed to wait today to hear the result, to hear the proclamation and all that, and to know that, okay, this is a person who won, but I think that they've skipped it to Monday. Now, I'm urging the community, our community that I love so much, our community that I've also put my all to that we should wait on Monday, but we want peace because destruction, all this thing we have suffered. I come from the Southwest region.
Dr. Lois, I have a question for you. When you are saying that there should be peace and justice, who is your message? Who are you sending the message to? Is it to the government or to the civilians?
He's sending the message to both the government and the civilians. All of us are the civilians. This thing is affecting all of us. It's affecting me. It's affecting you. If they start burning houses, it's affect all of us. So with the peace that I'm asking for, it's for my fellow Cameroonians, my fellow brothers, that we should hold on till Monday and see who is going to be the president of our country. And justice goes to the people in government for them to look to the cry of this individual, to us who are pleading, who are there on the street with all this, and judge their conscience.
I like the fact that Mr. Parfait Boom is here. Mr. Parfait, I'm going to ask the question in English. Maybe Sandrine can help translate. Dr. Lois Ekwe is here. She's our guest also tonight, and she has issued a statement. She has a foundation called the Hanson is the Lois International Humanitarian Foundation. Yes. So she has issued a statement calling for peace, unity, and divine guidance ahead of the proclamation of election results in Cameroon. And she is saying that people should stay calm before Monday and even after, when the results of the elections are proclaimed. What is your response to her, given that yesterday we had a statement from Issa Shiruma Bakari saying that it would take, even if it means taking action to make sure that the voice of the people are respected, that is going to happen. What would be your response to Dr. Lois?
Bonsoir à Dr. Lois. C'est un plaisir de l'écouter. Maintenant, elle joue son rôle, c'est-à-dire que le rôle d'équilibrer, le rôle de dire que, OK, il faut la paix, que tout le monde fasse la paix, ainsi de suite. D'accord. Maintenant, qu'est-ce qu'on fait de ceux qui veulent voler la victoire du peuple? Qu'est-ce qu'on fait? Donc, la responsabilité de la paix dépend essentiellement du gouvernement, de ceux qui ont falsifié les procès-verbaux, de ceux qui, au niveau des départements, ont pris les résultats de l'ECAM en refusant nos procès-verbaux, de ceux qui, au niveau du conseil de la commission de recensement des votes, ont refusé le travail que nous avons fait et nous ont fait sortir de la salle. La responsabilité de la paix dépend du Conseil constitutionnel qui veut lire un résultat qui n'est pas le bon. Donc, ce n'est pas aux citoyens lambda qu'il faut demander la paix. Et ce discours où des préfets, des sous-préfets viennent dans des mosquées, ainsi de suite, pour demander la paix, alors que c'est eux qui ont falsifié ou bien fait falsifier en complicité de l'ECAM les procès-verbaux qui ont donné 700 000 voix supplémentaires à M. Biya, c'est eux le problème. Et donc, je dis aux ONG, ne faites pas ce n'est pas le moment de l'équilibre. It's not the moment. Le moment est de dire au gouvernement clairement qu'il est en train de voler quelque chose qu'il a fait en 92 et que le peuple ne l'accepte pas aujourd'hui. That is the problem. It's not problem of people, but the government problems. Et la paix dépend seulement du gouvernement. Et le peuple est en train de prendre ses responsabilités. Ce n'est pas moi qui vais lui dire, ce n'est pas Mimi, Mefo ou Sandrine ou mon frère fort, mais c'est que le peuple est allé voter le 12 octobre et il refuse qu'on vole sa victoire. Et c'est pour cela que le gouvernement est dans la panique. Il y a eu réunion aujourd'hui au palais conduite par le SGPR. Eux-mêmes sont mal à l'aise, mais ils disent quand même qu'ils vont forcer. Or, ce n'est pas possible. Je vous le dis encore aujourd'hui, en tant qu'allié de Chiruma, avec lequel nous avons travaillé pendant plusieurs jours, que le peuple ne va pas laisser passer cette affaire. Et si nous laissons passer cette affaire, ils vont faire encore 100 ans au pouvoir. Et ce n'est pas possible parce que chaque année, ils trichent. On a demandé le fichier électoral national, ils ont refusé. On a demandé au niveau des commissions d'évaluer le travail, ils ont refusé. Ils ont attendu du 12 au 18. Ils falsifiaient les procès-verbaux. Du 12 au 18, ils falsifiaient les procès-verbaux. Et les procès-verbaux sont arrivés à la Commission nationale de recensement en morceaux. C'est-à-dire, dès qu'on finit de falsifier, on envoie à la commission. On finit de falsifier, on envoie à la commission. C'est comme ça. C'est pour cela que lorsqu'ils nous ont donné le résultat du Sud-Ouest le samedi, nous sommes sortis de la salle parce qu'on n'a pas compris que dans le Sud-Ouest, Paul Biya a 78% de voix et dans l'Ondian, il a 98% de suffrage. On a dit que non, c'est assez fort pour nous et on ne peut pas cautionner ça. Avec des endroits où les populations ne sont pas là, mais on dit qu'il y a 32 000 qui ont voté Paul Biya. Quelqu'un ne peut pas être votre bourreau. Oui.
Parfait. Est-ce que FSNC, est-ce qu'ils ont tous les procès-verbaux de 31 000, comment on appelle, polling stations? Do you have all the return sheets de 31 000 bureaux de vote?
Ça, c'est encore un faux débat. C'est un faux débat. Parce que le peuple a tous les 31 000 procès-verbaux. Le peuple a tous les 35 000 bureaux procès-verbaux. Et nous avons tous les procès-verbaux. Des partenaires nous ont, là où on n'a pas pu avoir, les partenaires nous ont donné les procès-verbaux. Mais je vous dis que c'est un faux débat parce que à la commission départementale, on n'accepte pas que vous sortez vos procès-verbaux. À la commission de recensement des votes, on n'accepte pas que vous sortez vos procès-verbaux. Les procès-verbaux de l'ECAM ont dormi où? Entre le 12 et le 18 octobre. Ils étaient en train d'être traficotés avec des résultats inacceptables. Donc, même avoir tous les 31 000 bureaux de vote, procès-verbaux, ça ne règle pas le problème parce qu'on ne les étudie pas quelque part. J'ai demandé à certains membres de ne pas signer dans les départs.
I don't even understand.
Before Sandrine comes in, Dr. Lois, I have a question for you. We've heard Mr. Parfem Vum detailing some of the issues that plagued the 12th of October elections. We've seen cases of fraud here and there, but particularly the case in the Anglophone regions, because you say you are from the Southwest. We saw how young people came out in Buea, where they had the chance to go out and vote. They voted, they didn't just vote, they defended the votes. We saw it in Buea. in Limbe, majority, more than 90% of results that we received from polling stations in Boya and Limbe showed that Issa Shiroma Bakari was winning or won in the southwest region of Cameroon. Okay, imagine that after the proclamation of results, because I am looking at your statement, the people's right to that victory is denied. Advice to them.
Hello?
Yes, what would be your advice to them?
Oh, it's a tough one. But I'm going to go so straight because I'm somebody that I don't defend, like listen to people said I was there, I wasn't there to know what happened during the police station. I don't buy that. That is me. I don't buy that. I like speaking with facts. You get what I mean? I like
Yeah, I'm
speaking with facts
now
because
telling you facts that we received
okay,
as an
okay,
independent media, in reputable independent media, that
yeah,
more than 90% of results from Boya and
yeah.
Limbe showed that Issa Shurma Bakari emerged winner in some parts of the southwest region, and we have the results with videos. They were attached with videos, not just pictures that you can see is AI, it's been doctored. People that were pulling agents, and even some Elecam officials sent us as sorry about that interruption. I don't
It's fine.
understand. The call
Yeah.
keeps coming. There are people who sent those information, sent videos, and there were people that were in the polling stations. So if on the 27th, when the government decides to release the election results, and the people see that in Boya and Limbe, the person they voted for didn't win, what would
It
you
means
expect? What
it
do you
means
think they would be
first,
their course of action?
it means their rights were taken. You
Mm.
understand? Their right were denied. You got what I mean? If they voted and they know because I was not there. I was not at the ballot station to know who voted, who did not vote, who did not won. That is why we are waiting on the 27th to know who is the winner. But at the same time, if you voted and your right was taken, that is not justice. You understand what I mean? It is not. You have to defend your right. But what I'm saying is that defending your right does not mean that you go like killing. Like this yesterday evening, I saw one lady that they killed. That is so crazy. And I'm not supporting whoever because you know this thing, politics is a dirty game. You understand what I mean? Who wins, who don't wins. What we need is the right of our nation. You understand? We need our right. But if we want to talk about like we are defending, I'm not a party defending this person or that. But what I'm saying is that we need peace. We need our right to be heard. Our right to be heard is not going to make us to be destroying our own resources. That is my part that I said. We want peace. We should maintain peace because even if we destroy all our resources, Yaoundé is not going to come back to give us those resources. They are not going to do that. We are still going to suffer. There are many ways that we can on our right. We are going to march to Yaoundé, not destroying our own resources. I don't know, you get what I mean? Yaoundé is where Yaoundé is the capital of Cameroon, where we're going to march and go there. Let us not march.
People are going out, and soldiers are coming out and pouring tear gas.
Like, Mimi, what I'm trying to say is
dispersing the crowd with water cannons. People are holding just the flag and peace plans and walking, but the soldiers are the ones opening fire and pouring tear gas on people. But you are saying that people should go towards Yaoundé. So how
that's what I mean. Right now, let me tell
how can
you.
their safety be guaranteed?
Let me tell you, how can we be guaranteed? That is good. Now, when we destroyed our own, let's say I come from Kome Maninguba. After destroying everything, they will not come and fix it. I don't know, you understand? Right now, our kids are suffering. They are not even going to school because of all this. Let us go. If we want to die, Let's die. Let us not be destroying ourselves. I want to die, and Yaoundé is there sleeping. It means we are not ready to take justice. We are not ready. We are not ready. Let us give the fact. I want justice. That justice is in Yaoundé, Ebolova, or whatever. I'm going to march there. I'm ready for war. I'm ready to give my life to my nation.
I want Sandrine to come and ask a question, but Dr. Lois, I have a question for you. We've seen bishops have issued statements, politicians, and even some actors of the civil society, just telling the people, be calm. Even chiefs have said that people should be calm. Without stating clearly why they should be calm, whether they should be calm because Biya has won or Biya has lost. They should be calm because Issa Shoma Bakari has won or because he has lost. From your observation, I know you say you are dealing with facts, but certainly from between that time that the elections took place to now, you must have received some facts and figures from the ground. What have you seen and what have you heard? Who is the winner of the election to you? Who won the election? Biya or Shiruma?
No, as I said, I can't answer that question because you say we have facts. Facts are, we're going to prove it we're going to like I don't know how this vote went. I was not there to know who won and first, they haven't even proclaimed the election to know that Mr. Biya won or Issa tried to won. That one has not been declared. So I can't be doing that now. It means I'm working behind the scene. I can't work behind the scene. We have to. No, let me just hold on. We want our country to be right. We want our country to be right. Let us, no, hold on, let me say. Let us too. Our kids are watching on us. Let us not say because we are too excited and we begin to go behind the box. No. We can't be going behind the box. It means we are not helping our country. We are not helping our nation. I don't know, you get what I mean? We are not. We can't proclaim anybody now that has won because the election has not been read. Let us wait till the day that they're going to read that election. And if the election is read and it's not favorable, I still stand here and I said, if I want to fight for my country, I will not fight in Kumba. I will not fight in Tombe. I will go to Yaoundé because that is where everything is coming from and fight. It means I'm ready to lose my life. I cannot stay behind and I begin to destroy things and I said I'm fighting for freedom. That is not freedom. Do you know how many people that we have lost? Do you know lives that we have lost? Do you know schools and do you know what we have lost just because we don't know how to say we want to fight? Now you are here in this podium. You are talking about we want to take it. I want to see you in Yaoundé. Palais de Congrès or whatever they call those places. You go there. Then when I see you, I know that you are ready to fight. Then let us not instigate people that are back home, that are struggling, and they say, let us fight. For me, that is not what they call fight. At least let us lead our nation in the right way because all of us are this nation. All of us are there. Whether you are a senator, whether you are a teacher or whatever, the youth look up to us.
Yeah, okay, for sure. I'm going to come back to you in a few minutes because I have some questions because I'm asking, wondering myself how someone can try to pay. I don't know how you're gonna supposed to travel from Kumba to go to Yaoundé and protest there. So, but first, let us go back to Parfait first. Alors, Parfait, vous disiez tout à l'heure que on essayait de discuter un peu des raisons qui auraient amené le Conseil constitutionnel à ne pas proclamer les résultats qui étaient prévus aujourd'hui, mais plutôt lundi. Pour vous, qu'est-ce que cela peut vouloir cacher?
D'abord, comme je l'ai dit, il est important que je dise à docteur qui parlait là que le discours qui consiste à penser que comme les gens ne sont pas à côté de Yaoundé, ils n'ont pas le droit d'intervenir, ils n'ont pas le droit de donner leur point de vue, ils n'ont pas le droit de condamner ce qui se passe et leur dire qu'il faut aller à Yaoundé. Non, chacun apporte sa contribution à l'édifice. La deuxième chose, c'est qu'on ne doit pas détruire ce qui est construit. Non, le pays est même détruit. Le pays est détruit. Le pays est complètement, avant cette élection, le pays est en lambeaux. Ce n'est pas maintenant qu'on va détruire le pays. Il est détruit depuis. Et de trois, qu'elles ne disent pas que elle équilibre les choses. Les ONG doivent dire ce qui se passe, ce qui est vrai. Et ce qui est vrai, c'est que Chiroma a gagné haut la main cette élection. Si on veut être neutre, c'est qu'on est du côté du pouvoir. L'heure n'est pas à la neutralité des ONG. Il faut dire la vérité. Et elle n'a pas besoin d'attendre le score qui sera donné lundi. On sait le score qu'ils veulent donner. C'est celui qu'ils ont fabriqué. Et elle doit être du côté du peuple. Ce n'est pas les résultats qui sont sortis. Le peuple veut les résultats sortis de l'urne. Or, ce n'est pas ça qu'ils ont l'intention de prononcer. Ils veulent donner 54% à Paul Biya et 35% à Chiroma, ce qui n'est pas vrai. Et c'est pour cela que le peuple va se battre avec tous ses moyens possibles pour que cette victoire ne lui soit pas volée.
Je pense qu'on l'a perdu encore parfait avec toutes les difficultés de connexion qu'il y a au Cameroun en ce moment. On espère retrouver parfait. J'ai du mal avec mes questions cet après-midi. C'est incroyable. À peine une question et puis on doit disparaître. Hello, Arrow Benson.
Hello, Sandrine. It's a pleasure for me to join you all today. I've been listening to your conversations.
Thank you. I'm happy that for sure I know that we will have time to say something without like interruption. So we still have Dr. Lois Ekwe online. So I don't know if Anson has a question, but I have a question for Dr. Lois Ekwe. So for you, I just have one simple question. Do you think now, today, that Cameroon is in peace?
Cameroon is not in peace. I can't say Cameroon is in peace because it's not in peace. Cameroon cannot be in peace when we have all these things happening. Kidnapping, students don't have jobs, a lot of things are happening. Cameroon is not in peace. We can pretend. Yeah.
But why have you chose like this moment to make your statement? So people doesn't have job, there is no water, there is no electricity. It's not new in Cameroon. That's from decades.
Like, it's not that people don't have job. People have job. There are people that have job.
Yeah.
People have, there's water. There's drinking water, there's water. There are places that you can find water.
So let me just everyone let
me talk. There are places that
let me just come in briefly to just introduce our correspondent who is in the town of Garoua because there's been internet interruption. So he's coming to give us the latest. Since this morning, he was not able to even send videos or pictures, but he is here live. Amadou Dairo is joining us from Garoua. Hello, Dairo. Bonsoir.
Bonsoir.
What is the situation in the city of Garoua today? What did you see? What happened today?
Oui, il faut dire que depuis ce matin, d'abord les Garoua, aujourd'hui encore, il y a eu des affrontements entre l'armée et les manifestants. Comme vous savez, l'armée continue toujours de fonctionner avec la gaz lacrymogène pour essayer de repousser ces manifestants. Mais autre chose qu'il faut souligner aujourd'hui, toutes les écoles sont restées fermées, y compris les facultés des universités de Garoua sont restées fermées depuis ce matin.
Sandrine, you have any question? Answer?
Oui, justement, Amadou Daïrou, on apprend que Issa Chiroma s'est une fois encore prononcé qu'il parle d'un assaut qui serait en préparation contre lui. Est-ce que vous avez des nouvelles de l'ambiance autour du domicile de Issa Chiroma Bakary?
Oui, il faut dire que devant le domicile de Issa Chiroma Bakary, c'est
incroyable.
We got
I
Araya who just came in. Araya just came in when Dr. Lewis was talking, and she and her foundation sent out a release talking about peace, unity, and justice for Cameroonians. I mean, you have been monitoring what's going on the ground now, and today we're talking about internet shutdown. Do you think that we should end at the level of peace, unity, and justice? Should we go far, or should we, as maybe NGOs and foundations, have some limit? Because we've seen that Dr. Louis Ekwe is having that kind of limitation. But people are hungry for change.
Yes, I did hear Dr. Liz Ekwe, some of the comments that she said. I've not seen the publication or the document that was sent out, but I did hear some of what she said.
Please, guys, sorry for the interruption. Dairo is here again. Should we?
Okay, that's fine.
Yes, Sandrine, maybe.
Alors, Amadou Daïro, j'espère que vous nous écoutez. Alors, la question était de savoir c'est quoi l'ambiance autour du domicile de Issa Chiroma Bakari?
L'ambiance aujourd'hui devant le domicile de Issa Chiroma Bakari, il faut dire aux environs de 14 heures, les axes qui arrivent devant la concession de Issa Chiroma Bakari a été bloqué à presque 100 mètres. À presque 100 mètres de chez lui, aucun passage. On ne retrouve pas ni les hommes en tenue, ce n'est que des personnes en civil qui sont quittées pour venir rester devant la maison de Issa Chiroma. Pour eux, c'est de garder leur président et que personne n'est admis à passer sur les barrières qu'ils ont déjà mis en place à 100 mètres de chez lui.
Alors, est-ce que ça veut dire que les populations font reculer les forces de police à Garoua ou surtout autour du domicile de Issa Chiroma Bakari?
Non, ça, je prends sur le plan de la ville même en général, parce que vous savez, quittant du quartier Bibéméry, c'est l'un des quartiers les plus populaires de la ville de Garoua, en passant par Marouaré et passant par Takasko, tous ces coins sont presque fermés par les manifestants. Donc pour l'armée n'a pas pu utiliser, comme vous savez, la mort de l'enseignant Zouaïra qui a été tué à bout portant avec une balle non identifiée jusqu'à présent, parce que selon la CEMIL, le numéro de ce balle n'est pas identifiable. Déjà, la police, y compris la gendarmerie, ont reçu des ordres de ne pas utiliser les armes et de faire repousser seulement des manifestants avec la grâce lacrymogène. Mais même avec ça, les habitants ont déjà eu une autre méthode, la méthode de travailler avec les bombes chinois qui mettent dans les nez pour les permettre d'affronter toujours la police, y compris la gendarmerie.
So yes, and Dairo, and I have a question. Maybe Sandrine can translate if you don't understand. But in English, the question is: in the far north region or in the Grand North, we've seen conflicts like Boko Haram, but not internal conflicts and agitations. But for the first time, we are seeing young people so determined and coming out to say they want to protect their votes. What are the dangers of such mobilizations?
Oui, vous savez, madame, aujourd'hui, ce qui se passe même dans la partie septentrionale du Cameroun, c'est favorable pour la secte terroriste Boko Haram. Parce que vous savez, c'est facile aujourd'hui pour cette secte de pénétrer au moment où les tensions sont vives. Parce que aujourd'hui, presque toutes les frontières sont moroses. Les forces de défense se sont beaucoup plus mobilisées dans les centres-villes, y compris Maroua, Garoua, comme Gaoundéré. Ça veut dire qu'aujourd'hui, nos frontières sont presque poreuses. Il n'y a pas, on ne retrouve pas, c'est-à-dire ces frontières qui ont été renforcées par l'armée, par les bires. Ça veut dire qu'aujourd'hui, les terroristes sont vraiment, c'est favorable pour ces terroristes aujourd'hui de pénétrer encore, de commettre ce chaos.
Hansen, you have a question?
No, I think that question, the last one was very, very important because even in the Northwest region, I had information that some bees were removed from the Northwest and sent to the far northern region. So no question for that. It's an important aspect. Security remains very porous, according to what Dairo is saying, and those who live along the border might be at the mercy of Boko Haram militants.
Yes, Dairo, just another question. Est-ce que vous avez parlé parce que avant-hier qu'on a eu le direct, il y avait les réactions. Est-ce que les réactions, les tendances ont changé? Est-ce que les gens ont changé le discours parce qu'on a même changé la date des proclamations de résultats? On a poussé ça pour lundi. Est-ce que les réactions ont changé?
Les réactions n'ont pas changé, plutôt ça a augmenté encore cette tension vive. Parce que moi, je me dis, pour moi, nous qui sommes aujourd'hui à Garoua, ce que nous voyons, ça veut dire que s'il arrivait que c'est aujourd'hui que le résultat devait sortir en faveur du président de la République colombienne, je vous assure que la ville, c'était le chaos. Parce que beaucoup aujourd'hui, ces jeunes qu'on observe ont pris la méthode de remplir les bouteilles avec du carburant. Des bouteilles avec du carburant. Et ils ont même utilisé les cendres du batterie, les batteries qu'on utilise pour les véhicules. Ces poudres-là, les jeunes ont beaucoup plus utilisé une forme d'explosif qu'on retrouve aujourd'hui dans les mains de ces jeunes. Parce qu'on a vu, c'est la peur. Les jeunes n'ont plus peur. Ils affrontent la police et comme la gendarmerie. Moi, je vois l'effet de repousser la date pour le 27. C'est là, par crainte, les autorités ont peur. Les autorités ont peur parce qu'ils ne pouvaient pas donner, c'est-à-dire les résultats aujourd'hui. Je ne sais même pas si le 27, ils vont encore se prononcer. Parce que la ville, c'est l'effervescence totale, des vives tensions, presque tous les carrefours. Hier nuit, à 22h, même devant l'hôtel où nous sommes, les jeunes étaient remplis. Presque le passage, c'était presque... Vous ne pouvez même pas passer. Vous ne pouvez même pas passer. Il fallait, c'est-à-dire, vous identifier avant de passer. Les populations même sont devenues eux-mêmes ils font eux-mêmes la gendarmerie et la police.
Avant de te quitter, Dairo, une dernière question, peut-être Sandrine en a aussi. Je voulais seulement savoir si qu'est-ce qui peut changer la situation quand tu parles aux habitants de Garoua. Qu'est-ce qui peut changer la situation et ramener la paix dans ces régions?
Ce qui peut aujourd'hui changer la situation pour la population que nous avons essayé de rencontrer, c'est que le président de la République, Paul Biya, soulève les mains, accepte la défaite et félicite Issa Chiroma Bakari et laisse le pouvoir. C'est la seule solution. C'est la seule solution qui peut arranger. Et peut-être aller plus loin, je vous ai dit, aujourd'hui, depuis 6 heures ce matin, nous sommes presque coupés de l'Internet. La connexion a été réduite à presque 5%. C'est-à-dire c'est totalement bloqué. Ils ont fait ça par exprès. Parce que nous sommes totalement bloqués. L'Internet ne passe pas à Garoua. À l'heure où je vous parle, c'est difficile. Vous ne pouvez pas envoyer les messages. Vous ne pouvez pas envoyer. Et encore que les manifestations qui sont passées aujourd'hui, on devait envoyer sur notre page, mais nous sommes complètement bloqués. Complètement. Et je vois que c'est là, c'est presque à dessein.
Sandrine.
Non, je pense qu'on peut laisser Amadou Daïrou, on en a eu, enfin, il nous a dit beaucoup de choses concernant la situation à Garoua. Il nous a surtout expliqué que les populations essayent dans la partie septentrionale de pouvoir repousser les forces de l'ordre. On l'a d'ailleurs vu avec des images de la Damawa ce matin. Et lorsqu'il parlait de M. Issa Chiroma Bakari, on a vu parfait, vous me souriez. Je pense que je vais essayer, on essaie de se battre avec la connexion qu'il y a en ce moment au Cameroun. Merci Daïrou. S'il y a d'autres questions, je pense qu'on le prendra. Mais parfait. Peut-être
avant de vous quitter, allô?
Oui, on vous écoute.
Peut-être avant de vous quitter, une scène que j'ai dû oublier. Vous savez, que ce soit en Gaoundéré ou à Garoua, de même que Maroua, quand on parle du lamido, c'est une personne de très respectée. Une personne de très respectée selon la tradition. Mais aujourd'hui, le lamido de Garoua a voulu rencontrer Issa Chiroma, mais il a été refoulé par la population. Ça, c'est du jamais vu. Il a été catégoriquement refoulé par la population. Parce que pour eux, il fait partie du RDPC, il n'y a pas question de lamido, il n'y a pas question de respecter la tradition. Et je dois, c'est pour la toute première fois dans l'histoire du septentrion où on refoule un lamido de premier degré.
Merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup.
Intéressant. Merci beaucoup, Amadou Daïrou. Je pense que je vais demander d'abord l'avis ou la réaction de Parfait à ce sujet-là.
There are people who are saying that we should translate a little bit. Maybe you can
Yeah,
help
for
them.
sure.
With brief
Yeah.
Yes, I
translation.
mean, what Dairo is saying is just that the
Yeah,
Lamido
the
of
French,
Garwa,
the French. Yeah.
who is the Lamido of Garwa, who is a traditional authority and a first class chief rather, was denied entry into the residence of Issa Chiruma Bakari. He says that there's a human wall that has been built around the residence, and the people have put on barricades about 20 meters away from his home, where not even the military can be able to come in. So this is a human wall that has been put in, and people are securing Issa Chiruma Bakari in the night, in the morning, and of course nobody comes in and nobody goes out. It's a very strict environment according to what Dairo told us, and that the situation is still very tense. He also said that this is a good time for Boko Haram militants because the military has been withdrawn from the borders and sent into the urban centers.
Thank you. Thank you. And so I think he also shared that people are trying now to find some alternative method to do not be pushed by the political forces. Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
est-ce qu'on
Now,
pourrait avoir is that okay,
I think
Ansan?
we were with Are Obenson. He's been there for a while, so
Yeah. I know.
was supposed
I'm just scared about the internet, the
Okay,
internet
with
issues
Perfect.
that we have in Cameroon.
Maybe Are just say something since he has been on our screen. Welcome again, Mr.
It's okay.
Hello, Ari.
Yeah, hi Mimi. I know I was asked the question, what I thought about what Dr. Luis Ekwe said with reference to the conversations around peace. Let us be very clear about who is a threat to peace in Cameroon at this time. Just to be very, very clear, that the only party that has been a threat to peace has been the party that has been orchestrating fraud. That is documented and that is evident. In every country, in this country, in Cameroon, sovereignty lies with the people as per Article 2 of the Constitution. That sovereignty of the people is manifested by way of an election. They determine who has to be the president of the country. Based on the electoral code, the results of elections are published polling station by polling station. I really want us to be clear and let us have some respect and dignity for the Cameroonian people. People, citizens, ordinary citizens, took their time and respected the laws of the country and went to vote on the day of the election. And at every polling station, as provided by the electoral code, they had the results of every polling station by polling station. Yes, there is a legal principle that the finality of the electoral process is the proclamation of the results. Nothing, I repeat, nothing in any law in our country prevents anybody from knowing what their results are or saying what those results are, because anybody who went to school that knows how to do arithmetic can be able to add polling station by polling station to know what the trends are and who wins the election. It is a travesty. We cannot abuse the intelligence of 30 million Cameroonians by saying that only the Constitutional Court can proclaim the Constitutional Court derives, the Constitutional Council, it derives its authority not from President Paul Biya. Its authority comes from the people. It is illegitimate if a court of justice upholds an injustice. It immediately loses its legitimacy and the people can no longer accept the court as the legitimate authority of the country. So let's be clear about legality and legitimacy. It is obviously in the interest of the BR regime to say that the results were proclaimed by the Constitutional Court, which gives them legality. But legitimacy, again, by the Constitution of our country, Article 2, the sovereignty belongs to the people. And if the people decide that the court is illegitimate because it is enforcing an unlawful act, then the people must take their responsibility into their own hands. And then to the question about go destroy Yaoundé, nobody is asking people to destroy anything. Let's be clear that we're asking people to manifest peacefully. Peacefully. And let me define peace, because peace is not just the absence of conflict or manifestation or demonstration. Peace is the prevalence of justice, of equity, and of good conscience. And all of these three things are really very important, because where is the injustice when you fabricate results in Diane and give 100% of those results to President Paul Biya, which means that everybody who died in Diane, people who lost their lives in the last 7 years, are counted as having voted in this. That's 15,000 people emerged from thin air to vote in Mbonge. That 98% of the unhappy people in Manu gave 98% of their votes to President Paul Biya. That 5,000 people emerged to vote in Messager. So we talk about terrorists. We talk about how Amber terrorists have destroyed Anglophone Cameroon. Sometimes we look at the bloody nature of the crime of killing somebody, and we think that that's the worst crime on earth. The worst crime on earth is when you take away somebody's right to choose, their freedom. You don't kill them, but you don't see blood spilling, but you demean them. And this is, let me say this to Anglophone leaders, anybody who calls themselves Anglophone elite, that what has happened to Anglophones in this electoral process is something that for generations we have to live with the pain of. That the voices of our people have been completely trampled upon in ways that are worse than anybody killing. We have to think about this seriously. So when we talk about peace, I really want to be clear that we all want peace. The only people who are a threat to peace. Can you imagine? There's a woman who just lost her life in Garoua. If we were not in this situation, people would not be. These are people who were riding their bikes, who were doing their daily jobs, who gave up everything to vote for their country. And now those people are going to the streets. Those people are not insane. Those people don't just want to destroy. They could have destroyed before October 12th.
And yes, I really want to come back to you, but Oben Frankie is very early in Japan where he joined, and he will certainly want to take leave of us. But I have a question for you, Frankie. What are your expectations ahead of Monday when the election results will be proclaimed? Are you interested? Or you feel like, okay, Issa Shiruma Bakari has won and we don't need to hear anything from the Constitutional Council anymore because we know what the Constitutional Council would say? Or are you having still hopeful that you will hear something on Monday that you expected?
You are muted, Uben. Frankie.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mimi. And I wish to thank Are and Parfait for the wonderful insights that they've shared. And I just want to say this: I still remain positive that this delay in the results means that there is this back game advice where probably the president of the Constitutional Council is looking at his own personal security and is looking at things at stake and advising his collaborators for them to make the right decisions because they are very old and tired. People in their 90s, like I don't know, probably a century-old government, and the adrenaline that's right now in the youth's blood is something that it's out of our control. As we hear Amadou Dairo saying in Garua, youths are already devising, artisanal explosives, and that's very dangerous. I don't think anything that any of us see here has so much impact on the youth if they don't hear on that 27 that Issa Chiruma is declared the president of Cameroon, and probably Paul Biya and whoever wants to, exit with him is exiting. So, in as much as I remain positive, but I think like a youth, the energy I have in me, though not being in Cameroon, sharing that one spirit and knowing the difficulties that young people like us with intelligent degrees and bright futures end up in, very unspeakable places. I want to believe that we want to hear Issa Chiruma take the center stage of this country for the next transition, and there is nothing much we expect of the Constitutional Council than proclaiming him the rightful winner. As rightly said, the polling station results, everyone can do the arithmetic. It's not even a mathematics. It's an arithmetic process, and everyone can do it. And I am sending this message to President Paul Biya. We love you. We appreciate whatever you've done for Cameroon for the last 40 years plus, and we are just pleading, just take a peaceful and respectful exit. You are a grandparent. We respect your age. Do not push the youth to the wall. Do not push your people whom you so genuinely love to the wall. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Oben Frankie. I'm sure that you have
Merci,
other things to
Frankie.
take care of. But we'll be so happy to have you another time again. Thank you, Frankie.
Thank you. Thank you.
All
Merci,
right, Mefo,
Frankie.
let's go to Dr. Louise Ekwe for her final words before we take leave of her and before Parfait comes.
Okay, actually, all of us are looking for peace and the betterment of our nation, Cameroon. And I'm just praying that all of us should put our nation in prayers and to see what God has for us. And we believe the right person that is going to come is going to lead us, take us from all our struggles that we have been through, all the struggles that we have been through. So as we await the 27th, I believe God has seen our cry. He is a God of justice, as I said. He is a God that has seen the cries of those that are on the street, those mothers that are suffering, those that are selling banana on the street, youths that are not going to school and all that. So let us wait and see what God has for us on the 27th. And I believe we're going to have victory. We're going to have victory. And our rights that have been taken, we're gonna get it back. If we put everything in the hands of the Lord, we're gonna get it back. Yeah, it's so frustrating. Okay. It's so frustrating, but I believe this time God is going to see us through, because He is the only one that can see us through. And we pray for God guidance for those people on the street that are fighting for us, those that went to vote. As I said, you have the right. When you vote, it's a right that you have given. And let us continue to be in prayer, and I believe God is going to do what we have never seen. For me, I believe positively that there's going to be a change. Is what I believe.
All right. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming, and thanks for honoring our invitation. We'll be having you some other time, Doctor. Now to Parfait, Sandrine. Parfait, just before Sandrine comes in, have you already created your government? Tu seras quel ministre dans le gouvernement de Issa?
Oh ben, vous savez, si je suis parmi les ministres, moi je vais prendre le poste directement. Hein. Vraiment, la population va m'accompagner. Donc, après la prestation de serment, il y aura forcément un gouvernement. Et nous avons servi, même si nous ne sommes pas nommés, nous allons continuer à servir la République. Mais si nous sommes nommés, nous irons prendre nos postes avec le peuple. Il n'y aura pas de résistance possible. Maintenant, ce que je veux dire, c'est qu'il n'y aura pas de miracle lundi. Il faut que j'explique aux populations que le travail a été déjà fait par la Commission nationale de recensement des votes. Les résultats qui seront lus sont les résultats qui ont été faits au niveau de la commission. Donc, ni Dieu, ni n'importe qui ne peut changer ça maintenant, sauf le peuple. Il n'y a que le peuple qui peut changer le résultat qu'il veut lire lundi. Et c'est pour cela que...
Donc, vous confirmez que M. Biya va être proclamé vainqueur? Est-ce que vous confirmez que ça va être ce résultat?
Je confirme sur la base du faux qu'ils ont fait depuis les commissions départementales jusqu'à la commission nationale de recensement des votes où je suis sorti de la salle. Donc, le Conseil constitutionnel ne fait pas de calcul. Il vient avec les résultats qu'on lui a donnés. Ce d'autant plus qu'on a rejeté les recours des autres. Donc, c'est un peu ça. Donc, lundi, il n'y a que le peuple qui peut décider autrement. Donc, à partir d'hier jusqu'à lundi. Et c'est pour cela que le peuple est en train de prendre ses responsabilités. Et je voulais dire autre chose sur la crise dans les zones anglophones et à l'extrême nord. Monsieur Biya et son système sont en train d'encourager l'entrée de Boko Haram et l'entrée et les problèmes dans le nord-ouest. Parce que aujourd'hui, l'armée est concentrée dans des points sensibles, alors que les rebelles, il y a un risque qu'ils entrent davantage à l'extrême nord et qu'au nord-ouest et au sud-ouest, surtout que sa victoire est contestée. Vous ne pouvez pas torturer un peuple, le martyriser et dire que vous avez gagné à 98%. Donc, il y a un danger à ce niveau. Donc, ce que je pense, c'est que je ne veux pas qu'on dise qu'on attend lundi pour voir ce que ça va donner. Je vous le dis encore, que tel que c'est structuré, ils vont déclarer Biya vainqueur si le peuple ne fait rien dès aujourd'hui et jusqu'à lundi. Et s'il déclare Biya lundi, le Tiruma et nous ne serons pas responsables de ce qui va arriver après. Parce que le peuple, lui, il ne va pas accepter que son résultat qu'il a vu dans les quartiers, dans les bureaux de vote, qu'au sommet, qu'on le change comme on veut le faire. Et pour finir, on suit des menaces. Moi, je ne peux même plus sortir de chez moi. Beaucoup de leaders sont dans les collimateurs de la justice et de la police. Ils nous attendent dehors, ils envoient des coups de fil pour nous arrêter. Nous leur disons que ce n'est pas nous qu'ils vont arrêter, c'est le peuple qui va les arrêter, qu'ils sont en train de vouloir arrêter et que ce peuple va se venger. Nous recevons des coups de fil matin et soir pour nous localiser, pour savoir là où nous sommes. Et nous disons que là où M. Biya et son système veulent entraîner le pays, nous ne sommes pas responsables. Donc, dites ça aux ONG qui veulent jouer les équilibres, qui pensent qu'il faut dire que oui, mais, ou bien non, mais. Quand il y a l'injustice, il faut se mettre du côté de l'opprimé. Et les appels de paix que les préfets et les sous-préfets donnent là, c'est injuste parce que c'est eux qui ont aidé Elekam à falsifier les procès-verbaux. Il n'est pas normal qu'après avoir fait organiser les fraudes, le vol, que vous venez auprès des mêmes populations, leur dire que la paix, la paix, la paix. La paix ne se décrète pas. La paix est un construit. Et en matière d'élection, on fait la paix avant pour qu'après tout le monde accepte les résultats. On ne vole pas d'abord, on ne triche pas pour venir demander la paix aujourd'hui. Tous ces enfants de moins de 5 ans qui sont dehors parce qu'ils veulent protéger le vote de leurs parents. Ces enfants de 15, 20 ans qui n'ont même pas voté, mais qui savent que c'est Chiruma qui a gagné. Ils sont dehors. J'espère que l'armée ne va pas tirer sur eux. On a déjà eu un mort. Il ne faut pas qu'on en ait d'autres. Que le président Biya libère le pouvoir. Que Paul Biya libère le pouvoir et qu'il permette une transition politique. Nous aussi, nous avons le droit de gouverner. Nous avons aussi le droit de montrer ce qu'on peut faire. Et il a fait 43 ans. C'est largement suffisant.
Okay, Mr. Ari, now I wanted to ask that you in the diaspora, what are the diasporans doing? Are there any initiatives that you are doing to make sure that the votes of Cameroonians are respected? Could there be any external forces that can come in and push this? We know that a lot of diplomatic moves are being made behind the closed doors. But tell us more. Can something yield fruit? Maybe the US intervening, the France not intervening in terms of in the electoral process, but because from what we are seeing, the future is really uncertain.
Yes, let me just say that we all through, that before the electoral process even started, what we have really, the role we have played is really empowering citizens to take their destiny into their hands. We started that by encouraging them to participate in the electoral process massively and make sure that they can vote. We knew the three things that we knew. We knew, one, that the regime would not accept the results, right? We also knew that that there would be fraud there would be fraud in the process, because the regime has always done this in the process. And we also knew that when people start demonstrating as a result of the fraud, the regime was going to clamp down on them. We knew these three things. But the most important thing that we wanted to demonstrate was that if people participate massively, the victory will be so clear that attempts at fraud would be too obvious. And that's what we have now. And that's what really empowers people, because that's what enrages people. People have no doubt. Anybody who has a doubt about who won this election is lying to themselves and does not want to face or accept the truth. Now, what are we doing? We continue to put pressure. I don't know, we personally, maybe people don't know this, hand-delivered letters to every one member of the Constitutional Council, reminding them of their authority. Their responsibility is not, I hear this said so many times in Cameroon, that their responsibility is just to read the results. No, the Constitution provides for more. That if the Constitutional Court esteems that an injustice has been performed, there were irregularities in the process, it should, it's a court of good conscience, it should be able to revisit the results. And I'm hoping that this is what has happened for them to postpone it. I'm hoping, but I cannot be too hopeful. But we are engaging people at various levels. One, we're educating the Cameroonian people to remember that the right to protest is not a privilege. It is a right. It is a responsibility. It is provided for by our Constitution. It is provided for by the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which is an integral part of our Constitution. It is provided for by national laws in our country, the 1990 laws for freedom of expression. That's a right. I keep reminding people that the sovereignty of the state lies in the hands of the people. No institution, no position in the country can subvert the will of the people. So that's where we are focusing, educating people that it's your responsibility. Secondly, we're fighting against misinformation. There's a lot of misinformation from the part of the government, the CPDM regime, and the candidate Biya. All this misinformation is intended to dissuade the population from demanding what is rightfully theirs. This is not a negotiation. This is not begging. This is a right that the people have expressed in the electoral process. So there is no negotiation in this thing, in this process. People have a right to demand what is rightfully theirs, and we continue to educate and empower them to do so. We're also speaking to we're speaking to the military. We've asked the members of our group to send letters to members of the police force, the armed forces, that reminding them that you are our brother, you're our sister, you're our uncle, you're our auntie. We face the same challenges. We made the same choices. We are entitled to the same rights. So yes, do your job, but do not do your job against people who are demanding what is rightfully theirs. If you're a police officer, would you arrest the thief or would you arrest the victim? In this case, go after the thief, the person who is being fraudulent. The Cameroonian people have done nothing wrong to be pursued or to be attacked by the police or military. Nothing wrong. It is the only people who have committed any fraud and committed any crime are the people of the CPDM and the regime in place.
But what if they're not admitting that? So we know that we have the Constitutional Council will say something on Monday for sure. So, but we are still at the level of thinking that, and then Parfait was saying that earlier, we are pretty sure that they will just declare Mr. Biya the winner of the election. So at this point, what do you think? What do you advise to the population?
Let me say dossier inadmissible or irrecevable.
Irrecevable.
Irrecevable. In English, we say inadmissible.
But so no, just to go before you continue. So, do you think that there is a chance that something might change, like regarding the situation now? I'm pretty sure that even in Yaoundé, that they're watching, they know that in Yaoundé, in Marwa, in Garwa, it's not the same quiet places that usual. So, do you think that that can impact of what is supposed to be done on Monday?
Mr. Biya and his regime have a choice. They have a choice to respect the will of the Cameroonian people and work with the Constitutional Council to proclaim the rightful winner of this election. Or they have another choice. The choice to continue to drag this country down into chaos, as they have done for the last 43 years, as they have done in the Anglophone regions where they've spent 10 years unable to solve a crisis that has ravaged and destroyed the country. Like they have failed to resolve the issues of Boko Haram in the north. They have that choice. I am hoping, that even on the last day, President Biya would have the humility, the dignity to say that he lost these elections and save this country from itself, because this country is about to go into chaos. And when this crisis begin, let me remind people, when this crisis begin, we know when they begin. You never know when they end. This is an opportunity for the regime to recognize the challenges that lies ahead of us if we do not make the right decision. And there is only one decision here that is right, is that the will of the people be respected. Again, this is not a negotiation. We can appeal to their good conscience if they have one. We can appeal to President Biya's wisdom. If the age comes with wisdom, we can appeal to that. But we're not negotiating. It's not a negotiation. It is just the moment of truth that the people voted massively against this regime, and they should respect it.
Okay, perfect. So,
all right. Now, I know I asked a question. I asked that, do the France have an influence in convincing A2D, the lion man, to leave power?
Yeah, well, let me say this to you, Hansen, and say this to the Cameroonian people, knowing that we continue at every level to have a diplomatic offensive as well as an international media offensive. We're doing all of that. We're reaching out to congressmen and politicians here in the United States and across the world to engage them. But nobody will resolve our issues. Even the international media carrying this information will largely depend on the Cameroonian people. So the people in Cameroon, unfortunately, or fortunately, because I see that there is an awakeness of the consciousness of the Cameroonian people, have to stand their ground, not because they're doing anything wrong, but because they are demanding what is theirs, what is rightfully theirs. And I know that there is fear, there is intimidation, people who don't want to lose their lives, and we're asking people to do this peacefully. The challenge is, if it's one person, then it may be easy for them to arrest that person, and then we all get go about our business. If it's 10,000 of you, you make a statement. The world it would pay attention. So do this in a peaceful manner, but mobilize yourself in such a way that you're making a strong statement that helps us make a good case on the international scene that Cameroon needs to be sanctioned. We have to get to that part where we start finding ways in which we can start orchestrating sanctions against this regime, but we're not there yet. At this time, we're calling on the people to not accept the outcome of a court that is going to be reporting or proclaiming results that are not a reflection of what happened in the voting booths on October 12th.
Yeah. Now that we are experiencing internet shutdown, don't you think that this is going to perturb the way people are going to receive messages and all whatnot? Do you also think that it will be as successful as it was in 2017 in the Northwest and Southwest regions?
Well, they're still using the same old play tricks in the book. They're shutting down the internet and all of that. Well, we had anticipated this. So for weeks now, we've been asking everybody to make sure that they download VPN, make sure that you download BitChat, find different ways in which we can go around this so that we continue to communicate with, even when internet is shut down. We continue to use text messages. We continue to use Bluetooth. With VPN, you can also go around this. The electorate is more sophisticated now than it was in 2018. The electorate is younger now than it was in 2018. The world has changed. So these same old tactics of intimidation, having community leaders write letters, community leaders have themselves lost touch with the very people that they are said to be representing. Because if they had not lost touch, we would not be here. The results will not be what they were. So it's really important for anybody, again, I keep using this phrase, good conscience, to remind people that this is a moment where people of good conscience must prevail, because that's how we build a country. We can't build a country by a class of people claiming the country is theirs. No, the sovereignty belongs to the people. And so the people are demanding and that their will be respected. And this is not a negotiation.
All right. Thank you so much. Dr. Jude Muta is also joining us. You are in the US, right, Doctor? Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Hello, Ari. Good to see you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. How are you?
Good.
Doctor, we've been discussing backstage, and you told me that the will of the people must be respected. Is that what you want to tell people now?
Well, I mean, first of all, thank you so much for all the investment and the time commitment you've been putting into these before the elections, during the elections, and now that we are after. Yeah, I actually today is my birthday, and I was, I was not going to say anything, but
so we can find a way to celebrate it then.
Yes, I said I was just going to celebrate it quietly, but after reflecting very quietly and realizing that, Pobia came to power years before I was born, and look at me, I have gray hairs here, and I still don't have the opportunity to contribute to the system in any way. Not just me, but many others of my age and even younger. And I think with a very clear opportunity that we have, that people have spoken, they want to change. I think that should be clearly that should be respected for the good of the nation of Cameroon, the very young nation of Cameroon. When I say young, I mean a country with a population of about 65 to 70% that is made up of young people. They have a long future ahead, and they should be given the opportunity to demonstrate their skills. So yeah.
But do you clearly believe that at this point we are near to the change in Cameroon?
I want to think so. I remain optimistic. I think it really depends on the Cameroonian people. The core is from the Cameroonian people. Mm-hmm. And if they so much want that change, it's very possible. They must stand for what they believe in and what they voted for, and be willing to protect and defend their decision, their choice.
Okay. So, but at this point, that there are some of violence. I don't know if I speak in French, if it is okay for you, and then you can reply in English. It's okay.
English is better.
Anyway, let's go. Okay, so do you think now with the situation going on, there is a lot of manifestation. We were talking about the internet interruption and everything, but we still have people surrounding Mr. Issa Chiroma Bakari. So do you actually think that there is a possibility for the regime of Biya, even if the result have been proclaimed on Monday, saying that Mr. Biya won the election? So do you think that there is another way maybe for the regime to say, okay, we will try to find a way to make a peaceful transition? So do you think that we can go to that point?
I think that's very interesting, and that is the hope, for a lot of us. I think with the postponement of the proclamation of the results today, some analysts have argued that it's probably the decision of the regime to say, what, let's sit back and reflect. When you see the protest up north, or the general call for change, and the numbers that Issa Chiroma has demonstrated to show that he is the winner of this election, I think it's very important also for the regime to reflect and say, look, let's look at these numbers and think what we can do. Not just looking at the numbers, but when you look at the mobilization, the momentum that has been galvanized around Issa Chiroma, and people ready and willing to protest for the choice that they voted for. If the regime thinks otherwise, I think it's also important for them now to demonstrate and say, look, these numbers that this person is demonstrating is not correct, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've not seen that. So it's very clear that the people have decided. And if you don't agree to that, you either counter that with facts, or you sit back and reflect, to come up with something that would save the country. I think you're muted.
Thank you. So before I come back to you, I just have a quick question for you, Mr. Benson Are. So do you think now that we know, and then do you think that there is a critical point, even in the political map in Cameroon, with everything going on, like the political parties? So what are your perspectives?
Well, I think that we're at the crossroads. Whatever decision is made by the Constitutional Council on Monday can make or mar Cameroon. Let me be very clear. In 2017, when the Anglophone crisis started, many of us thought this would be a 2 weeks thing. It would be 1 month or 3 months, and somehow a solution will be arrived at. It's 8 years, going on 9 years now, and we've not found a solution. This government, the current regime, has no control, has lost control over 2 regions of the country. It doesn't have control of, despite the fact that they made those numbers. We are risking losing control over 3 other regions. That means this regime, because I see what's happening in the north, and what if that rebellion continues and they lose control of the north? Is Mr. Biya, after 43 years in government, he is leaving, about to break up this country in a way that the country is only going to be, the government is probably only going to be in control of 5 regions of our country. Is it worth the trouble? Is it worth the sweat that after 43 years, look at how the man is going to be living? When he came into power, he started the CPDM party in Bamenda. When was the last time Mr. Biya set foot in Bamenda, the birthplace of the CPDM? He campaigned for these same elections without setting foot in parts of the country, that part of the country that if he was in control of the country, he should have gone there, but he didn't. So what is it that Mr. Biya is trying to demonstrate? That there is no, in 30 million Cameroonians, there's no other person that has the capacity to be able to run the country, that we have to depend on a 92-year-old man. Look at the disgrace that we saw from the Speaker of the House, who was completely out of his brain cells, trying to make a speech in public. That is it is so disgraceful. And again, I keep insisting on this, that the biggest travesty that has been committed in these elections is what has happened to the voices of Anglophones who couldn't participate. A government couldn't guarantee their own security to be able to go and vote, and yet has the audacity to make up numbers saying that people voted 100% Indian. Come on, if you even want to fraud, do it intelligently. Do not do it in such a way that is so blatant. We were worried whether we would have all the procès-verbals, all the correct results. Cameroonians should not be worried about that, because what we have seen is a manifestation of fraud by only one party. There were 12 parties in this election. No other party has been accused of fraud except the CPDM. So there's only one person that is a threat to peace in Cameroon now. It's President Paul Biya and the CPDM and his agents in the regime. That should be very clear to everybody, and we must continue to insist and hold them accountable for theft of the will of the people.
Okay, so Dr. Mutabi, before Hanson comes in, Ari was just saying being accountable. So now we know, and then we all know that people around Mr. Biya, they just want to keep what they have, their ministry, their function, and everything. So at this point, if Mr. Biya doesn't want to leave the power, so do we need to think that it's just the people around him, or do we need to always making sure that he's the only one, Mr. Biya, accountable of what is going on in the country?
I mean, no, thank you for that. I think, yeah, this has come up a lot. A lot of people saying that Bia is not even aware of what is going on. It's okay to think that way, given
Yeah.
his age and maybe which I respect him for that, and probably some health conditions. But when you see Mr. Bia enters the country and grant a very brief interviews at the airport, he he voted. He went to the polling station. He voted. He even granted an interview, though a very brief one after that. That tells you that he still reasons. He receives dignitaries at the Unity Palace every now and then, and I want to think they have very good conversation. So, to an extent, one can also argue that he knows what is going on. He probably has people around him that are influencing him to take certain decisions, but we cannot entirely be convinced that Mr. Bia does not know what is going on. So just to piggyback on or something that Ari was saying, I think with this election, he was talking about the regime and the fraud. It's so blatant that I think for the CPDM is like, we stole the result and we know we did. What are you going to do? I am from I'm from Batibo, and I will tell you, in my community, we're really, really shocked about the results that came out from there. There's no way that 5,000 people would vote yes for CPDM in a place that has been severely affected by war for over 8 to 9 years now. Nothing is happening over there, and you want to claim that a particular candidate, gets that amount of results in that area is just unbelievable.
Yeah, Anson?
Dr. Jude said he had just a few minutes. Maybe you just say some last word before you leave. I know I promise that you will be with us just 10 to 15 minutes.
No, thank you so much, Hanson, for the opportunity. I think I would basically echo what everyone else is echoing. Let the voice of the people speak. I think it's really dependent upon Cameroonians to decide how they want to run their country, what the future of that country should be. And I think this is a clear big opportunity that everyone should take advantage upon. I also really want to appeal to Mr. B and his team that it's really better to step down with dignity and avoid plunging this country into further chaos. Of course, Northwest and Southwest are in deep trouble. Up north, now we see the protests, but we also have to recognize that that is a part of the country that has been ravaged by Boko Haram for several years now. In the eastern part of the country, we have problems with rebels from the Central African Republic, and so we don't want another chaos that would just ravage this country and destroy it. So I'm really calling on the authorities that they should sit back, reflect, and make decisions that take Cameroonians into consideration.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much. Thanks for joining us. Mr. Are, before we go, because we've been here, this is close to 2 hours now, Sandrine.
Yeah,
Before we
absolutely.
go, there's a pertinent question of what can you say about the attitude of other opposition political parties?
Yeah.
The fact that the SDF and the PCRN claim to have the return sheets, what we call PV, but they have not been able to bring them out.
Yes, I think that there is a responsibility that we all have as citizens of the country. To perform our responsibilities as citizens, you have to sometimes lift the veil of the label or the political party that you have, and look at yourself as a citizen, as a good citizen of the country, you need to do what is right for the country. Otherwise, it's an abdication of your responsibility. If these parties have the results because they had representatives in polling stations, then they should know what the trends were. They can't talk about the trends. The law doesn't forbid that. It doesn't. So it is discouraging to see that people do not love their country the way that they should. Because if you do love this country, then you must be doing what is right for the country and stating what the truth is. All that people are asking for is the truth. It should be the barest minimum. You're not going beyond anything to be able to just say what the truth is. And if we cannot say the truth, then it really becomes hard for us to rely on you as a political leader to lead the people of the country. So yeah, it's that responsibility is for them to speak the truth. I'm not a politician, but I have decided that this moment is going to be the moment of truth. And I will keep telling people the truth. So let me speak for myself. Based on the facts that I have seen, based on the trends that I saw on the day of the elections, polling station after polling station, the fact that we've had 2 weeks to look at who is performing the fraud, we can say without any iota of doubt that Issa Chiroma is the president-elect of Cameroon. And the only people who are a threat to peace, and the only people who have decided to subvert the will of the people is the CPDM and its president, President Paul Biya.
Yeah, I think there is a question for Mr. Ari in the box, so we are just going to ask him that before we go. Question for Mr. Ari: do you think it would be easy to reverse a decision that is contrary to the wishes of the people that have already, I think, maybe make the decision?
Yes, I think at this point that responsibility lies in the hands of the Constitutional Council to do what is right for Cameroon and for Cameroonians. Whether if the decision that is proclaimed on Monday doesn't reflect the will of the people, the genie that comes out of the box at that moment may be very difficult to put back. So it will be difficult to go back because that's the highest instance. You cannot appeal the decision of the Constitutional Council. All that needs to be done at that time is that the people take their sovereignty into their own hands and continue to again, because there's no other way in which they can appeal that decision. The pressure is now for the Supreme Court, the Constitutional Council, to do what is right, because again, that decision is not reversible once it is made.
Absolutely. Okay. Thank you, Arthur Benson, for all those insights. We are so happy to have you this evening. It was perfectly fine. We are so sorry for everyone who was in Cameroon and we were not able to join tonight. We know the situation right now in Cameroon with internet connection, internet limitation, and interruption. So we hope that maybe tomorrow we'll be able to have like better connection and then maybe still have our people to join the conversation. Hansen.
Yeah, we hope that tomorrow more people will be able to join us. We had about 2,700 watching. We used to have more than 10,000, 20,000. We know that it's because of the connections. We now know that Cameroonians really want to know the truth. We can see that majority of the people watching are from Cameroon and are based in Cameroon. So they really want to know the truth and what's happening. And we are here, Mefo Info, Cameroon News Agency, and other platforms. We are always here to give you the best of information, the breaking stories, and who said what, where, when, and how. We are going to be yours again tomorrow, Sandrine Yamga, with our viewers. And
Absolutely.
people who
We
have
will,
been
we will
following
try
us.
even to come back to those who were not able to join us today, like normally. Maybe Perfect can come back. Maybe we will have some images from Garwa with Amadou or Mara with Amadou Dairu. So we will try all our best tomorrow. So we just hope that everything should return to the normal.
All right. Okay. Bye-bye now.
Thank you. Au revoir. Bonsoir.